So did you see that when Khwaja Asif yesterday put his tweet against the regime of Israel on his X account, everyone who has some sort of allegiance with the regime of Israelis was coming after him. Few were calling him, he is a Jew hater, he is a Nazi, he is an Islamist, he is a jihadist. And one of the senior members in Israeli government called him that we will remember this, that Israel will keep the account of this tweet that Pakistan is hating Israelis. So it is simply that if you criticize Israel, its actions in Lebanon, Gaza, West Bank, Syria, Yemen, anywhere, you are a Jew hater, right? Imagine the sitting defense minister of a nuclear armed country has been threatened, at least on social media, that he will be remembered for his talking points, his tweet, his 5 lines, his 1 paragraph. Why? Because Israel never forgets that after Iran, it is Pakistan that they have to come after. Because it is Pakistan who has isolated Israel more in this region than anyone else. Because of Pakistan's nuclear capability, they know that they cannot put the fight against Pakistan. And it is Pakistan that does not legitimize their existence, at least on Palestinian territory. Because Pakistan believes that unless we have a two-state settlement on that region, we cannot accept Israel as an independent state, or at least a state. And that policy from Pakistan has been for the years. We can criticize our politicians or our military powers that they have been actively ruling this country, but they have always been consistent on this one subject, that Palestinians have a right next to anyone for their long-term existence. But coming to the point, when Khwaja Asif put the tweet, everyone, and it was not just the random people, it was from senior members to the lobbyists. Mark Levin, he is an Israeli lobbyist in America who call himself that I'm American, but knowing him that he is a Jewish and he loves Israel more than he loves America. And he said that he is a Nazi, he is an Islamist, he is a Muslim, he is a jihadist. So technically, whoever is a Muslim is a jihadist for the Israelis. And why is it happening as of now? Because everyone has centralized their eyes on the Pakistan, Islamabad, that Pakistan is conducting, Pakistan is breaking the peace between Iran and America. And not everyone has a stomach to digest this, because Pakistan has been isolated on the diplomatic front since 2001, when the unfortunate attacks of 9/11 happened. Since then, Pakistan has always been isolated and they were never even taken seriously. But over the 2.5 years since the General Asim Munir has been in the charge of army chief, Pakistan has been reframed onto the diplomatic front. And the Israelis are not liking it, because if Pakistan succeeds in permanent ceasefire between Iran and America, that would be a huge blowback against the Israelis. And don't forget that Israel has been actively involved in one of the situations. When Operation Sindoor happened, after the critical investigations on the on the materials, on the arms, on the drones, on the guns, on the warfare materials has been used against Pakistan, we find out that the Israeli drones were used by the Indians. And this unholy allegiance with the Israelis and Indian with the Israelis is not because they have the financial interest. It is their interest to somehow corner or disturb the Pakistani borders, or somehow disturb the environment in Pakistan. Kind of a development on a civil front. They have always been trying it. And some people would deny it. It's okay. But we have a critical evidences that suggest, imagine a country who is 1.4 billion of its people, their leader goes to Knesset the parliament of Israel and say motherland or fatherland. He doesn't need to, because Hindus have their own civilization they can represent. But why was he bragging and doing that? It was not just a talking point, because he was very serious about that front. Because he was somehow taking the adulation from the Israelis, that at sometimes when they have a conflict with the Pakistan, Israelis will come against Pakistan and support the India, at least on the back door, at least on abstract measures. So Pakistan has to be very careful of the situation as of now, because Pakistan has more enemy now than they have 2 days before. Since this ceasefire between Iran and America, Pakistan has been under the huge limelight from the international media, but we should not forget that that could also play a reverse part. Because when you are polishing your image on world politics, global politics, because we have seen that United Kingdom praised Pakistan. Keir Starmer put his tweet on his official account that we are thankful of Pakistan. And Shehbaz Sharif replied him that we are grateful. And the image of Shehbaz Sharif has been on the world stage so far absolutely viable. And people are trusting him. Don't forget that. And now maybe some people would say it is just because of General Asim Munir or Field Marshal or Army Chief. Who cares? It is all about Pakistan as of now, right? But we have to be focusing on the other fronts at the same time when we are celebrating that we are negotiating a peace breaker deal between Iran and America. Because all other fronts are doing some crazy stuff. At least they are not hiding, for sure. They are not hiding it. They are not playing hide and seek. They are openly threatening the sitting defense minister of a nuclear armed country that we will remember this. Imagine this. Keep that in your mind and then realize that what they have been doing with the Iranians and Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, they don't have nukes. They don't have a military. They don't have army power, naval power, or air forces. They don't have, at least, not what they have been doing with them. When we as a nuclear nation has been threatened and being cornered or being told that we will be remembering you. Mark Levin, who is an Israeli propagandist in America, whoever criticized Israel, he would always put the tweet, deport, as if he has invented America and he has a license to deport everyone who criticizes Israel. He called himself that I'm American. If you are American, if someone is criticizing America and he belongs to third world countries or developing nations, perhaps you say deport him. It somehow makes sense, which is absolutely corrupt of you to deport anyone on the basis of criticism. Maybe we can accept it. But when you are calling yourself an American, but someone is criticizing Israel and you are calling him that get out of this country, you do not belong to us, you are Islamist, you are a Muslim, you are a jihadist, you are funded. These are the rhetorics that has been created by the Israelis. Only recently, when Tucker Carlson was having interview with the Financial Times, economics, he was asked that does Israel have a right to exist? When he replied, does Lebanon have a right to exist? Does Syria have a right to exist? Does Gaza have a right to exist? And then she was silent. There was a complete silence from the editor-in-chief of Economist. So see, that has been happening deliberately. That has been happening open under the sky, under the blue sky. This has been happening, and we have to be focused on these issues. While we are celebrating what has been achieved from our diplomatic warriors or soldiers, or whatever you want to call them, you can call them. But we should not slip our mind what we have been threatened for. Because if somehow Israelis manage to topple the regime in Iran, they will always come after Pakistan through Balochistan. And it's a fact. It is a fact, because they would always choose Balochistan to destroy Pakistan. Because they know that that is something very sensitive to the establishment and the powers that matters in Pakistan. But so far Pakistan has delivered everything which is nothing short of perfection. But we have to be careful of these Christian Zionists, because they are megalomaniacals, right? They are mercurial. They are evil. And if you can't see the evil in their eyes, then you are blind. That's a fact. Because when they talk about death and killing of innocent, they smile. See the Peter Hegseth. See the Mark Levin. They smile. Imagine you explode the baby of 2 years, 8 months, 6 months, and his or her arms are being ripped off from their roots. And you would still imagine to celebrate that? You could only be a mental, you could only be a psychopath, you could only be evil, satanic, devil. Otherwise, being a human, you cannot celebrate killing an innocent baby. But they are doing it. They are killing whole families. They are wiping out. And they are still celebrating. But Pakistan should always be aware of the situation that if they are somehow succeeded in Iran, they will come after you. Netanyahu is on the record. He says that Pakistan is a threat to Israel. However, we are not. Because we have always believed that we can only recognize Israel if they allow Palestinian state. Because we believe in two states solution. Every prime minister to the military person that has ever enjoyed the chair of Pakistan has always believed in this. We have a collective stance on this. We have never, at least on this front, slipped our stance. Normally we will do. That is our habit of slipping our stances in all categories. But on this, we have always been consistent, persistent, permanent, and totally committed. So the situation is very delicate. If the sitting defense minister has been criticized or being threatened from the Christian Zionists or Jews or Israelis, whatever you want to call them, it is a concern. It is a point of concern. Keep an eye, and we will be talking about the situation in coming days. Thank you.